What's cracking? This is Nick Danger, aka Nick Digital, and you are now tuned into the art of MV. Do me a favor. First of all, thanks for watching my video. And do me a favor, leave a comment in the comment section about what you think about the video and what I could do better. And also check out my The Art of MV, the MV theory that I'm going to drop. And here's the thing, man. The MV8000 is about 20 years old now. Yes, in 2003, this thing came out. It was legendary immediately because of the sampler, but it still stumbled out the block. But it had a lot of history behind it that I think is very rarely looked at, and that's why this machine is probably one of the most misunderstood pieces of gear that Roland makes. But anyway, I'm gonna do a short video about three things that you can do to make your Roland MV pretty modern, right? So the first thing is to actually just grab one of these. That's the new MV. Now, most people don't relate this MV with the older MVs at all. I'm in both groups, and they're two totally different demographic groups. Two totally different. A lot of world music in the MV1 Verse Lab group. Um, and even in the MV8000 group, there's a good mixture of hip hop and others, but mostly boom bapish type hip hop kind of videos with this MV right here. And that's what it's known for, but it can do so much more. The second way that you can upgrade your MV is to get you one of these. This is an M Audio MIDI in and out to USB. So there's lights. It has a self-installing driver. The one end is a USB port, and the other end is a regular 5-pin MIDI in and MIDI out. And what you do is you plug the USB 2.0 side into your extra USB port on your laptop or your computer, not on your interface, but on your computer. And it's going to self-install a driver, and when you pull up the routing for your VSTs, it will come up as USB M Audio MIDI in and MIDI out. The lights will flicker depending on which one you have, and you'll have tapped into your most modern DAWs, whether you're running Output or Native Instruments plugins or anything that's plugged into a DAW, Omnisphere, anything you want, and you can now control that with your sequencer from the MV. Now, one thing about the sequencer on the MV8000 is that it is very, very flexible, and has actually led me to using a hybrid workflow because you can control most VSTs with zero latency. That's exactly zero latency. Now, that's not every VST, just some VSTs, right? But for the most part, you can control most VSTs with zero latency. Reasons, I used to control my entire rack in Reasons with very little latency you get. And the third way, which is the cheapest way of all three, is to hit up Roger the MIDI Maniac, shout out to that guy, over at MV Planet, and download the One Technique kits. So the One Technique kits are probably the latest and most contemporary sound. So this is the One Technique kit and what I was able to do with it. seems to really give you a nice bit of lo-fi as well as trap drums. I'm noticing a theme here. So he gives you kind of like sound kits as well, like little loop packs as well. So shout out to One Technique, man. If you don't have this kit and you got an MV8000, man, you definitely was sleeping. Whoa. A lot has to be said, or a lot has been said about Roland's horrible pads, the 16 pads on the MV as compared to the ones on the MPC. Now there's a reason for that, and we'll get into that later in some other video about the MPC versus MV war. You have to check that out. I got working on some stuff about that, but the pads on the MV have aftertouch, and when combined with some of the ADSR um, parameters in the partial edit menu, the pads take on more of a keyboard type feel, and I think that's on purpose. Whereas the MPC's pads are very percussive. They're very, very percussive, and they're meant to beat up. If anybody has seen anybody working MPC, it is they beat it up a lot, right? But check this out. Depending on how you touch the MV pads, how long you hold them, when you release them is going to dictate how they play. So long hold will get me a whole phrase. But if I short that, it fades. And if I short that and I hit another pad, it phases out and then cuts off at like so. Or like this. See, this is actually long. See how that plays? Same way, right? But if I played it with these pads, see how that plays off? Cut right off. I kind of like that. That's my preference. I don't really beat up on my pads even when I'm laying my drums. I happen to be one of those nerdy guys who lays drums one pad, one track at a time.